Hi guys, my name is Sheila Landry, and I'm here to show you what's inside my new Chili Critter treasure box. I had just sent out the pre-orders last week on Wednesday, and I think the last one went out on Thursday, and I'm already getting notices from the US and Canada that people are getting them. So they're coming to you pretty quickly. I know that you've seen me posting a lot about them as I've been creating them. This box of 16 designs took me about 2.5 months to do, so I've been pretty focused on that for the last couple months. And it's so nice to see it all coming together. And I thought I'd do an unboxing for you because when I buy something that costs a little more, it's a whole kit, as you'll see from the prices. I like to see what I'm getting. I know it's nice to have surprises, and there might be a couple little surprises in there that I didn't show you here. But for the most part, I want to show you all that you get with the box. It ships for free, so the cost of shipping is in the price, which is really a plus with the cost of shipping these days. And I tried to be really prudent about getting the items to make the box, the materials, at a good price, so that I can offer you guys the best price too. And I found, this is my third box, and I found that a lot of you guys like doing things like this because we all like sets and we all like collecting, and instead of buying everything piecemeal, you get everything at once in one shipment, and you can work at it at your own pace. You know, it's not like a subscription box where you have to keep waiting and waiting. So this is my version of a box, and I like to call it a treasure box because I try to put a whole bunch of different fun things for you to create in there. So this is one of the ornaments. This is my little badger that I call Ivan. And the instructions are for both versions. I did them up on plaques, and I call these my mini plaques. And you could choose mini plaques, or you can choose shaped ornaments, because some of you guys like bigger ones with mini plaques and others like ornaments. And I give a general instructions for the backgrounds because the background is basically the same for the entire set, but each pattern, as I'll show you when I unpack the box, will give you the exact positioning that I used for my samples on the trees. I did also cut some stencils on my silhouette machine, and my silhouette machine is not a heavy-duty machine, so I don't typically sell stencils. I have to use a thinner material, but it's very workable, and the stencils are for snowflakes, and they're for the trees mainly, so you don't have to trace all the little elements on. You can just stencil it on quickly and then go over it with your brush. So it's not to be used like in a traditional way, but I think they're very useful because I included a bunch of trees and a bunch of snowflakes, so you could pick and choose or use them on other designs. And my goal with you guys is that you can use the materials for other things too. I hate how much postage costs, and I think it's really criminal that we have to, pay so much. I always feel bad when somebody will order like one ornament surface and it costs me $12 to ship, because the base price is really where they get you. Like after that initial $12 fee, it goes up very slowly. But if you're ordering only a little bit at a time, it tends to be more. It can even be more than the items that you're ordering. So I like the thought of having the treasure box here. Anyway, let's open the box and I'll show you what I have. and talk about everything. You get a black box with all your goodies. And I'm gonna try, I have little stickers on there of the critters. And I try to choose all my wrapping in that to coordinate, because I like to do that. So when we open our boxes, we get a little story. And what I did with this set of critters, I used these critters for my, I called it Critter Coven, and it was a Halloween set. And I like to make a little story about, they all live in the Crooked Willow Forest, and they have adventures. And I hope this to be an ongoing series. If this box goes over well, I'm thinking of doing like a spring and summer one where they're gardening and that. And I like bringing the same characters back and giving them a story. So you get your main story sheet, and then you get either or. You get to choose. This little envelope contains all the shaped ornaments. All 16 are in the envelope. Or if you choose the mini plaques, they're a bit bigger, you get package A and B. So you should have 2 packages of mini plaques. And they're all, like on my wood, I'm going to open carefully. They're cut and sanded, and you're just about ready to go. I take very lot of time and care with my wood pieces. I cut all my own wood. I don't have a laser cutter. I'm kind of a one-man band. I design all the labels, the stickers, everything. So that's why it takes me so long to do it, but I hope you like it. So you get your ornament surfaces. And the reason I like doing a plaque too, I want to mention that, is so you can put it on any surface. You can continue this background since it's just trees and branches and hills. You can put it on a box, you could put it on anything you want, and the instructions will work well with that. And what I'm going to be doing in subsequent short videos is showing how some options for finishing the back and the edges. And people had asked me how I attach the little charms that come with it. You get wire, and I put little snowflake charms. You get 16 little metal snowflake charms and some aluminum wire. And I'm going to do a quick video on how to do that. I'm going to do one on how some suggestions for the backs too. So those will be coming as soon as I get to them. So then this is a little pouch, and I call this Critter Glitter. And I mixed up my own glitter with some, I got some varnish and iridescent mica powder. And this is a Critter Glitter Light. I'm not going to open it because it's too hard to open, but it gives a nice iridescence. So I didn't mention it in the instructions because it's completely optional. It's just one of these fun treats that you'll get with your box. And you brush it on when you're all done, and it'll dry clear with sparkle. So you could put some on the runners of the sled. You could put some on the hills for the snow. Some people like sparkles, some don't. So it's totally up to you. So you get a little jar of Critter Glitter, and I tried to wrap it and double wrap it really good. Then you get another little pouch, and this has your ribbon. I have 2 colors of ribbon, a forest green and a sky blue, and some soft aluminum wire for the little hanging things on the ornaments. And then here's your jump rings and your snowflakes. And for the ornament shapes, I left the holes quite small because I didn't want big holes. A lot of them have their heads near the top. So I use a smaller hole and a jump ring on a lot of my pieces. I've been doing that for about a year or 2 now because I don't like when you drill a hole in the middle of their head. They look like Frankenstein. So anyway, all that's included in the other envelope. And I'll put that aside. I'm not going to repack this for you guys. And then this is your extra treat envelope. And in here, I have all kinds of things. You get a small sanding disc for cleaning up your edges. I put in extra little snowflake sequins, I guess, or they're not glitter, they're kind of sequins. There's some little dots in there, and that again is optional. You can put them on your backgrounds. You can stick one or two in the sky. It'll look cute. They're just for playing or for your other crafts. I have these really nice waterproof fine tip pens or markers, because a lot of people have trouble doing eyelashes and that with paint. So these are waterproof markers. I have instructions for that. You have to leave them set, and I do recommend doing a light spray finish over them just in case, because it depends what kind of varnish you're using. I ask you to test them so they don't run or smear. Here's a stencil sheet that I cut for you. There's 4 pieces in here. And I also included this soft little stencil brush. Now this isn't like a typical hard tip brush, and I am gonna do a video how to use the stencils and also how to clean them, because like I said, they're a little thinner and they're delicate because me being a graphic designer, let's see, I'm gonna put them on the black. See, there you go. You could see, there you go, right side up, how delicate the trees are in that. And now with my stencils, instead of scrubbing hard with the brush, you just tap it. It's almost like a stippling motion. And I did some trees, let's see, and the other big sheet is snowflakes. You could use these on your other projects. More trees, and these are some tall birch trees. Okay, so there's 4 little stencils in there for you, and then some tea, because who doesn't like a cup of tea? And I put the little stick in there, and this is what I use to wrap my wire to make the curlies on the wire. And as I said, the wire's aluminum, so it's soft. It's easy to manipulate. You don't really need a plier. You could use a plier if you want, because I know some people have trouble with their hands. So I put the stick in there for you guys. And then your patterns. There's 4 envelopes of patterns with 4 patterns in each. And this is the background pattern. And I want to show you what's in here. This is a general instruction for the background. So it gives the main colors, and all my patterns include lots and lots of photos. I walk you through the steps, how to create the backgrounds, so you can see exactly how I did it. And on all my patterns for the last couple years, I've been putting these spot charts, because the paint companies like to discontinue colors, and it's very annoying when we have patterns made that have colors that are no longer available. So I found that doing this is much easier. I did put on my patterns, I've been putting Joe Sonia's similar colors on the bottom row, and then Deco Arts on the top. So if you're a Joe Sonia person, you know, you can pick a similar color. And truly, if you're missing a color or something, you could easily mix a color or grab another brand or be close. Because remember, these are cartoons. We're not doing portraiture or something that has to be really fussy with colors. As long as it's close, it's going to look good. You would never be able to notice. And then you get a brush guide, a brush basics guide, and in this you know, a lot of you guys who have been painting a long time won't need it, but you might find it useful. I talk about different kinds of brushes and what they're used for, what I use them for. I made you guys a set of stickers. These are vinyl stickers that I have cut out for you, so they're fun to play. And they're the critters that are included in the set. There's little Ivan. This is a basic terms and technique sheet that I use all the time, and it just explains for new people, you know, when I mention a term such as stippling or dry brushing, it goes into detail so you have a clearer idea of what I'm talking about. And I accidentally hit 2 in there. Let's see. And then I also include in my my boxes a vellum sheet, and this is translucent vellum, and I printed out both sizes of the critters because the ornament critters are a little bit bigger, obviously, than the ones that are on the plaques. So I wanted you to have both sides of that because it makes it easy. You can transfer your main lines and then base coat in and then come back, and you could replace your pattern very easily because when your piece is underneath, you could see exactly where you painted. So you can place it exactly where it needs to be. So that is about it. I'll move this away. You get quite a bit for your money, and while I do sell the patterns and surfaces later once the box expires, I don't usually sell all the extras because a lot of the products that I buy for the boxes, I have to buy in bulk, and they come from China or overseas, you know, my other suppliers, and they take weeks to get. That's why I limit the number of boxes. I'm a little bit over halfway sold as I am filming this, and once I sell out, they're gone. You know, if I have enough materials to scrape together a couple extra boxes, that'll be fine. But once they're gone, and then you'll be able to buy these separately. You can buy your patterns separately, or your you know, your plaques, of course, are always there. This is the same plaque surface that I used for the Critter Coven boxes. So the previous boxes, there was a ginger all the way with the ginger ornaments, and then there was the Critter Coven where I introduced all my critters. And those 2 sets are up on the website too. They each have their own page, and you can buy the patterns and the surfaces a la carte. It's not that much more expensive, especially if you buy them all at once and ship. Like I said, if you buy one at a time, it's going to cost you a little. And all of my patterns are available as PDF patterns. If you guys who already bought the box want PDF copies of the patterns, I'm happy to just send them. Just drop me an email. You'll get them no charge, of course, because you already bought the box. And I want everybody to know that I do that all the time. If you want a paper pattern to hold in your hand, that's great. But like myself, I like to paint on my desk with my computer screen. I'd rather have a digital pattern that I could look up to instead of shuffling through papers. So I like having both options. So there you go. There's your Critter Coven box, or excuse me, these are chili critters because it's winter, and this is not only for Christmas, this could be for all winter long. I hope you like this set. If you have any questions, you can come and, you know, email me at sheilalandrydesigns@gmail.com. I'll have the links in the description, and everything's available on my tollpaintingdesign.com website. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your critters. Take care.